Hey guys, happy Friday. Happy Friday, guys. Let me message Shauna real quick. I told her I was going to tell her when I was hopping on, and I totally forgot. So bear with me for a second. Let's see. I gotta do it on my computer because I can't do it on my phone. Okay, cool. So, first of all, tell me what you guys are doing on Friday night. I don't know if maybe you guys are out on a date night. Maybe I don't know, maybe you're working on your business. So I'm just going to wait a second to let Shauna pop in. I think I am a little bit early, so we'll wait a few minutes because I said 8:30. But basically, I'm going to be interviewing Shauna because Shauna was a previous client. Let's see, Shauna wants to be in your video. Add. It's loading. So basically, I'm going to be interviewing Shauna because to kind of see what her experience has been when we work together. Hey, Shauna!
Hi, Melissa. So excited to talk to you about branding.
Me too. I love your earrings. Oh my gosh,
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I have my little studs in.
Ooh,
I
fancy.
know. I love them.
They're super fun.
Good. So how's the baby? She sleeping?
Oh my gosh, good. She's right here.
Hey, Mary. Everybody say hi, Mary. Tell me if you're watching the replay. Tell me what you're doing tonight. I know it's Friday night, so you guys are probably out and about. Hey, Tess. Um, okay, so I'm just gonna kind of have like a conversation with Shauna. Shauna was a client in December, I think, and we finished up in January, where we did her brand and website for Hey Hey Shauna May. So Shauna, how about you tell me a little bit about what was going on in your business when you decided to start getting really serious about rebranding and why you chose to do so?
Absolutely. So about a year and a half ago, I started an online business, and I just basically had this skill set that I was like, I've got these things that I'm really good at, that I really like, and I want to help women, but I don't really know like how to do that. And so when I started right away is I hired a graphic designer, and she was amazing and she was great, and she created my brand. And the pressing theme that I said is I want my brand to sort of look like the girl next door, somebody that you can bring into your house and have a beer with and like talk shop. Well, as my business started evolving over the year, I felt more and more like, okay, that's great, like that you think I'm your friend, but I'm actually like really good at what I do, and I have a lot of information and resource that I want to be basically on the same caliber as like the heavy hitters sort of in my industry. I want to be on that same playing field. I wanted more, you know what I mean? I wanted more essence, that it looked like when I showed up online, like I was a force to reckon with, right?
Mm.
Like, and still, while still sort of keeping the feminine feel, but not so girly, if that makes sense. So it just got to a point where I wanted to attract more higher end clients. I wanted to attract to a certain type of person. And I really think that we've done that. And so that was sort of the leading thing, where I just knew that what my brand looked like wasn't quite matching the quality of work that I was capable of and doing, really.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you kind of wanted to I know you had talked about this before, but you wanted to look like you were rubbing shoulders with all the other leading industry people in like the sales industry that you are, so that you looked like a part of them, because you are, and you didn't want to be taken as like the girl next door anymore. It was time to like up level your brand. So when it came to selecting who you were going to work with, I know you had like talked to a few different graphic designers, but what really drew you to Triple M Studios?
Absolutely. It sounds so crazy, but like I know so many graphic designers and they are all so good. Like that's like like dream job. Like if I was like any sort of artsy, like I think being a graphic designer would be just the coolest thing ever. And so I just know a lot of really talented graphic designers. And when we met, you really built that know, like, and trust factor. Like, you are very likable, very approachable, but you also came in at the right timing, which I think is really important for people to remember, is that, like, you can know, like, and trust people, which I know, like, and trust you just a ton, but also coming in at the right timing and positioning your product and saying, hey, Shauna, like, I've got this package for you. Like, I think it's going to really help you, and I'd love to help working with you create that vision. And you got me in right away. I know that you recently talked about how color is really important in your brand. And I just want to say how true that was for me in your experience, because your brand stuck out so much, because I absolutely love that, like, greenish, like, it's not teal, but it's not quite blue, but it's not quite forest green. It's like this beautiful in-between color between blue and green. And literally that was like the first thing that I was asking you. I was like, oh my God, that color, I love it. And like, what is that? And so that really opened myself up to see your work, right? So you created your brand created sort of an entry point for me to come into your, like, world and say, wow, like, I got to pay attention to this.
Yeah, and I love that, because if you guys have seen the live that I did earlier, the statistic I've been talking about all week is that 90% of snap judgments on a product is made on color alone, which that's a huge number. I mean, 90%, and Shauna is like, that's true for what Shauna just said. And I just want to rabbit trail for a second. Like, just so that you can understand how important branding is. So when I set out to brand for Triple M Studios a few years ago, I knew that my ideal client, which Shauna is definitely an ideal client, my ideal client is people who don't want to be in the trendy, like, watercolor, pink, all that girly kind of stuff, like the trendy stuff that you see everywhere, like the calligraphy. And so I purposely looked at what colors the other industry, like, leaders in my industry were using, and everybody was using pinks. And I'm actually, like, pink is one of my least favorite colors. I don't know why. I just never really liked it. And so I chose to choose some colors outside of the box, but I also really tried to make a brand that was outside of the trends and outside of the box, because I wanted to attract people like Shauna, who wasn't afraid to go outside of the trendy, look and feel, because that's exactly what branding is, because you wanna stand out as different, and you want to stand out as your own. And so it's just so cool to me to see that when I did that years ago, thinking that I would be attracting, the people who also wanted to brand like that, and how it worked with Shauna. Like, that is just such a testimony to what branding can do for your business. So, rabbit trail done. But hey, Megan. So,
yay, Megs, what's up? Yeah.
So, how did having a professional step in and do this for you help you? Like, how did that change your business, and what was, like, on your plate?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, the first time around, I didn't have, like, the templates that you've given me, which I really, really appreciate. So every time that I want to throw something up online, or I've got, like, a launch coming up, Melissa has literally given me all the templates that I need, already branded with my fonts, already branded with my colors. So that way, when I'm thinking, and after I've done all the creating, all the content, all the serving, and I want to go promote it, which are two totally different tasks, that work is done for me. And because it's done for me in terms of my brand colors, my brand scheme, my brand feeling, like, that leaves a way stronger impression of the sales, of what I'm capable of. And so that's how you're going to pack the most punch. Like, it literally is both, like, the content, which I'm really good at creating, but the graphics, not so much. I don't have to spend hours dinking around online trying to get, like, the colors right. Then it's the placement. And, like, I literally don't have a design brain. I'm just sort of like, okay, this is good enough. And I wanted to get past the place in my business where I wasn't okay with things being just good enough. I wanted them to be great.
Yeah.
So in terms of working with you and what you've given me, one, just, like, time back. I don't have to sit in putts with, like, the different the shades of the same color because I can't quite remember the code color. Like it's literally all done for me. So it's just plug and play at this point, which is amazing.
That's awesome. So it saves you a ton of time, and at the same time, it's making you look professional, the professional that you are. So would you say that there's any specific like results that you've seen come from your branding or that you would expect to come from your branding? Because I know like we just launched it a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So we officially launched this the beginning of January. And I literally just closed out of my biggest month to date. Wow. I had 2 clients, 2 one-to-one clients who paid in full. Plus we launched my group program and we literally just made a little over $8,000 this month. Literally my biggest month to date was the same month that Melissa helped brand my business and had it launched at the beginning of the month. And that literally, there's a lot of pieces, right? There's a lot of variables, but honestly, the impression of sales that I'm capable of is communicated through the design that Melissa has given me, which is the truth, is because I can get on live all the time. I can create blog posts and that's good and great. But when people are jumping online, like what grabs their attention are the visual elements. And we say this all the time, that the visual persuasion is your most powerful tool, right? Is you're making snap judgments in seconds. And if your content is good, nobody's going to read it until it grabs their attention in a way that visual design does. Yeah, it sets you up to win. Exactly. That's what Megan just said.
I love that.
And so I was just going to say, when you're literally in, if you've got five photographers and they all sort of are saying the same thing, solving the same problem, the one thing that's going to help them stand out is the way that they look, right? Like the way that the feelings that the pictures and the text and the colors all invoke. And so I finally feel like that has allowed me to stand out in a way that like gives them the information, but just says like, okay, she's serious, right? She's a serious business owner, and I'm going to think twice when I'm ready to pull out that wallet, right? Like I'm really going to be like, it sets you up to win. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah, because you look legit, not homemade. And I'm so excited for you. I didn't know that was your biggest month yet. That's so exciting. Yeah. That's so cool. Awesome. What a great way to start 2018.
I know.
That's so exciting.
So thank you. Thank you so much. Because I feel like there's so much, when you're starting your business online, you feel like you constantly have to convince people that you're good, right? And I did that for a whole year. I've been building my audience and proving my worth. Now that I have the audience, I've got to reach, I got to keep expanding my network. And so what your brand does is it literally creates a second sort of persona of you that is going to keep attracting people while you're serving your audience. So it's like having 2 people, really.
Right. So you don't have to work as hard. So I guess the last question I have for you is, when someone is thinking about rebranding or doing their website, what kinds of things do they need to be thinking about and like have almost ready to go and do that?
Absolutely. I think it's really important that you have like the vision of where you want to take your business. In the beginning, when you're sort of building your business, you're sort of tweaking like your message and like what you're trying to sell and who you're trying to attract. And once you have all those pieces, you can actually then create the vision, right? You actually have the vision. Okay, where do I want to take these people? Where do I want my message to go? Because we just sort of start out, like I said, like I got this thing that I can sell and I'm good at it, or I really have this great product or the service. And you're trying to sell it. And once you sort of get that, you can start to create the vision. And branding, what that does is it literally takes what you've done and builds the bridge to the vision. And so, like I said, I've been coaching people how to sell, right? I help them overcome sort of that awkwardness in their conversation. And now this big vision that I have, you've been able to create that gap for me, which has been incredible. So it's really important, if you want to brand yourself and work with Melissa, make sure that you sort of have the working pieces sort of figured out, so that way she can appropriately and accurately build that bridge, which is going to be your brand.
I love that. And I have to real quick shout out your photographer, because she really did play a big part. But Chelsea, I can't pronounce her last name, but she did amazing. And your photos were just so easy to plug into that vision that you had. And I just think it all came together so well.
It did. It really did. And Chelsea's amazing. We can link her up. I don't really know her. Her last name is super hard to say, but she's a documentary style photographer out of Connecticut and shoots documentary style photographs up the East Coast. And she's incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah, she really is. So I had so much fun working with you, and I'm so happy to hear that you had such a good month.
Yeah, I know, me too. And so that's, just to give you a little plug is that it's been a pleasure working with you, and anybody who's sort of on the fence or wants to work with Melissa, she's got that small little build a brand workshop where you can literally get inside with her support and build the sort of the outline template of your brand, right? Without the designer fee. So literally it's going to help you really, one, with confidence, two, save your time and leave that impression of sales that you're just when you're trying to break into the scene.
So glad you said something, because I totally forgot. Guys, the doors close tonight, like at midnight. So you've got, I don't know, less than like 4 hours. I don't know. I'm bad at math. But yeah, the doors close tonight, guys, and there's already some wonderful women in the group. I already sent out the homework for the class that starts on Tuesday, and it's going to be amazing. I'm super excited for the ladies who are already in it. But if you are on the fence, hopefully this pushed you over, because I don't even know if I'm going to be doing this again, honestly. And this is the most affordable way to come up with a brand and the fastest way. Normally, lately I've had a month and a half to 2 months booked out. And it takes a few weeks to create a brand when you do book with me. So this is like, you could get this done in 4 days. And it's just going to be so awesome. So hopefully.
Absolutely. I love that. I love the fact that you've got this template that you can literally set right on your desk. So every time you jump on your computer, when you're posting graphics, visuals, content, that thing, you can literally keep that thing by your desk and reference it. It's like the ultimate reference guide for your business. So that way you can keep that consistent look across all the platforms. Like that thing is worth it alone, if you ask me. So.
Well, good. I'm so glad that we worked together, and I look forward to the future.
Cool. Thank you, Melissa. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Shauna. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.